Hello and welcome to another episode of Hector's Fishing Adventures. Now, this is a re-recorded intro because we're changing a couple of things around. See, I'm recording all this in 4K and it only ever gets uploaded in 1080, which seems a little bit wasteful. However, it did mean that I had to mess around with some settings and things and stuff to get to work and to export it properly in 4K. I'd obviously change the intro because make it, 4K because it was on 1080. Although the original footage was, So I fucked around with all that. We've got some new overlays and stuff. Gonna play around with some transitions between scenes to make it obvious when I've actually fucking moved. Just playing around, trying some things out, learning a bit more about how to work Davinci Resolve. See if we can't make the content a little bit fucking better. The language isn't going to get better. We're even going to have a try at some hard-coded subtitles for those of you who are hard of Scottish. So yeah, that's the changes and the reason that I've had to re-record the intro. So, but we'll get back to the intro. So this takes place Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I was going to the shop for some shit on Saturday night and it looked alright. Yeah, it was quite windy at house. It looked alright when I was on my way up to Asdas. I thought, fuck it, we'll dive out to Bodham, have a quick look. I've been wanting to try somewhere a bit different with the micro stuff than just, over the rocks. So I did. I nipped out to Bodham and it looked good. However, I'm standing looking blankly at the harbour and this fella fucking climbs up from one of the boats and goes, "Hey, what are you up to?" So I explained to him and he went, "Oh, mate, if you want to get, a bit closer to the water, if you're doing the, micro stuff, feel free to jump down on the back of my boat anytime. It's absolutely fine." So, I mean, in this day and age, to be going to a stranger, I feel free to climb on the back of my boat. It's a fucking good dude. And I really appreciate the offer. However, I had a look down and because it was tucked down, it was quite dark because it was in the shadow. And yeah, I don't see too fucking best in low light conditions. So we didn't end up climbing down at the back of the boat. However, so we came back to Peterhead, grabbed the fishing gear, went out to Bodham, only to find that the wind had moved and picked up substantially. So the video takes up the day after, and you're going to see some Bodham Harbour, some new pier, and some over the rocks. Now, you're going to have to excuse me, because I'm a bit bunged up. I've got some allergy, monkeypox or some bullshit. Which is why I've added the subtitles, because I'm a bit nasally and I'm not pronouncing things properly. So we're going to have a go with the subtitles. See how that works out. See how much time it takes me to type them all out. If it's a massive pain in the ass, probably won't bother doing it past this one. But anyway, welcome to a new revamped Hector's Fishing Adventure with some subtitles and some new transitions and stuff, and we'll see how it goes. And anyway, on that note, to the fish. Fucking what a carry on. So let's record that again, but now that I've paired the fucking new receiver with the mic. So we're here at Bodham. Gave fishing Bodham Harbour a day. Tried it last night, it was too fucking windy. So we're back again today. It's still a bit windy. But we're going to start in the harbour. I'm fishing little size 16. They're not even really feathers. They're the tiniest feathers I've ever seen in my life. Can I get in frame? Yeah. They've just like got a little bit of luminous paint on them and a little bit of red paint. However, I've noticed a big shoal of sand eels in the harbour, so lesser sand eel can get ticked off. Hopefully maybe even find a launch today on the Sabiki's out in Peterhead harbour if we can get back there. Get head out of the lighthouse, maybe try for wrasse later on. However, for now, because we've got high tide, get a bounce out into the harbour. Targets today, only the blennies and gobies that I've nae had. Little pollock would be nice. Sand eel. Is there only little sprats or little herring about yet? I don't know. We'll see. It's a fine sunny day. Oh, it was. I figures it's about a cloud down now that I've come out. But anyway, so we're going to go and get cracked on and see what's fucking happening. Back soon. Right. I've managed to find a bit out the wind. Sheltered by the pile of creels behind us. As I say, we're fishing the tiny little size 16 feathers, sprat hooks, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Looking for sand eel. I mean, I could see the sand eels below me, but they just don't seem to give a fuck about these little feathers. A real pain in the arse this wind's like. Here, see if I get these down at the bottom, let them bounce along a bit. It's going to be an narcoli. I'm almost certain it's going to be an narcoli. So many little coolies here. They're certainly the most aggressive of all the fish that's here. I've seen other things. This rig originally came with 8 hooks, but it was like fucking a foot and a half longer than the rod. So I'm going to say we've probably got a string of coolies here. Yeah, so loads of fishies here. Unfortunately, they are all coolies. Yeah, there are coolies. Fucking Podlies are we, man. Podlies are we. We'll try a flick out this way. See if we find something in that direction. I suspect it's just going to be coolies and coolies here. Before we go though, I'm going to go up into shallower water by the ramp, the boat slipway, and just have a bounce around and see if there's any little gobies there are. Put a cheb and a tanago on. Tiny on the bottom. There we go.
Would anybody like to a quick wager on what the fuck this is going to be? I've got a pretty good idea. Looks very much like a full house. Yeah, a full house of coolies. As fun as this is, we're going to start this shit off. Because this is doing nothing to further the cause. Come on, you little fucker, out you come. Come on. Two. Three. Come on, mate, give me that back. Open wide. 4. Yeah. So as I say, we're going to go and have a move. Get to go wander up that way to the shallower end of the harbour. Probably change to a Tanago. Cheb and a Tanago. Leave these on till I get around there. See if that might get into the sand eels up in the in amongst the boats. Probably no. I've tried. They just run away as soon as the fucking lure hits the water. However, we're going to give it a shot. Well, while we're here though, so outer of the harbour, my plan had been to fish in this bit here today, because I'm going to say there's bound to be gobies and blennies and stuff down in there, but that wind's coming right in my face. But yeah, so this is outside the harbour. Fucking power station. Yeah. So that's about the size of that. So I'm going to move over there where you see the slipway coming down, and we're going to give it another go. So there we have a 1 gram cheb, Tanago hook. Don't know if you can see it or not, because I cannot really see because of the sun. But yeah, 1 gram cheb, Tanago. Gonna have a poke about here and see if we can find anything before we move off somewhere else, because it's Podlie after Podlie after Podlie. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy catching fish. It's fucking 20 odd fish this morning already. However, they're all the same, and we all know what the script is. We're here for the multiple species, not many of the same. So we're gonna get fucking moved. I'm gonna dot back along here, drop down in amongst close into the wall, see what we can find out, and then we're gonna move somewhere else. Lido was a bit of a bust. Much windier than I wanted it to be. A lot of shiting away down the edges as well. So we're out of pier, as you can tell, for the fucking Qantas ahead of me. Big fucking boat. Aye. Go out, chuck a feather, see if I get launce mackerel. Yeah, usual shite that you get down here on the feathers. So go chuck the feathers for half an hour, then get here and mooch through the rocks. Let's see if I fucking like. I'm hoping I've got this well framed. Fuck knows. Can't really see. Right, let's drop the micro feathers down to the wall bottom and bring them back up and see what happens. Oh, something. Or something's having a look. I'd imagine it's going to be little Podlies again. However, might be in for a surprise. Yeah, looks like a full string of little Podlies again. Coley, yep. And yep, it's an Coley. And would you be surprised to hear it's another Coley? Might be. At this point, I'm not really sure for today. I could go and clamber about in the rocks, I guess. We'll head in a couple of tries, see if we pick out a little sandy or a little heron. Ooh, that camera's now looking fucking the cleanest. I'm sure it's fine. So this is half a sprat rig, size 16s. Not really feathers as such, just a little luminous bit of paint on each one. Cut it in half, so I'm only fishing 4 of the 8 hooks, and it's attached to a 1 gram drop shot. And there we go again. And let's see what we've got. The Coley. Yep, it's a Coley. And that one is also a Coley. That one's a really fat Coley. And that is also a Coley. Takes us to about 30 fucking Coleys for the day. I'm going to sack this off, I think, and go somewhere else. Not sure where. Probably going to head out at the rocks, see if I got on the rocks at the back of the pier, at the back of the road. Try that. Fuck knows. But anyway, still only 2 species, about 30 odd Coleys and 2 little codlin. Fuck's sake. So as you can see with the big fucking wall behind me and all the big boulders, I am behind the seawall. Over there, on those rocks, cars parked out there by that row of houses. Just in front of the row of houses, the white house at the end, is Almanathy Harbour. We are over here because we're going to be fishing down into the holes between the big boulders. So Cheb, Tanago, get dropped down some of these deeper looking holes and see what's hiding under the rocks. It's lovely and sheltered here, beautifully sheltered here. There's not a breath of wind. Unfortunately, there is a fair bit of chop in the water, and it is pushing in among the rocks. Unfortunately, it's been windy for a few fucking days. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna find a hole. I'm gonna get baited up, then I'm gonna find a hole, find somewhere to set you up, and let's see what we can find. I've never ever fished down in between these boulders. I'm assuming probably a lot of shawnies, but we'll see very, very soon. I mean, I'm not getting him and sitting in a house on a day like this, so we'll be as well just, you know, do the best we can. So I was heading back to the car. The holes in the rocks aren't how I remember the holes in the rocks, unfortunately. I need the tide to be out so I can get down to the edge of them, because the pile would backfill in amongst the beginnings further back towards the bar, and there's just no holes. However, as I was heading back to the car, I'm nearly there. I'm at the sort of like I'm at the water line, and I seen a couple of gobies darting a while when they see my shadow, so I've parked Marston. No goby yet, but I have just had a prawn tried to fuck off with my fucking the little bit of red stuff that's on the Tanago. So I'm going to guess a go for 10-15 minutes. As you can imagine, I'm a little nervous about setting this tripod down after the other night. So as you can see, back at Shanny Mark, however, we're at the other side. Basically, there's a deep hole behind a big rock down in this corner. And my plan is to drop down into it. However, just as I've come climbing out to sit down, there was some sort of goby, shani, sitting just on top of this rock in front of us, just chilling, enjoying the sunshine. So I am currently bouncing a 1.5 gram tungsten cheb with a Tanago hook on it. Tiny little bit of red. Oh, it did have a tiny. No, it has still got a tiny little bit of red on it. Unfortunately, you can't see fuck all because of the waves in the water. However, I'm sure you don't need to hear me complain about the wind again. You've heard me complain about the wind all day. And it's been a fucking nightmare. Unfortunately. Oh, what are you? Did I get close enough so I could see down on the rock without spooking everything with my presence? Yeah, you can't see shit. Unfortunately, I am going to try and just drop us down in that fucking hole. It's quite a deep hole. So we'll see what happens. I've no idea, by the way, if that's landed on a bit of kelp, has gone to the bottom of the hole, was sitting on a stone. I can't see a fucking thing. However, I don't want to be making a big silhouette. And giving away the fact that I am here. I'm down in amongst something, I don't know what it is. Pick you up and see. I'm hoping I'm down in the hole behind that rock. Oh, well, something's... Something had a little jiggle at. You'll have to excuse me, I came out without taking my tablets, which means I've needed a hay fever tablet today. I really like to see better as to where I've got that bait. It's in a fair distance. I don't think... Nope, nothing on it. I'm very, very wary of knocking you in the water again. Well, I try to position myself. Okay, try and get this down in that hole. Oh, there's a lot of kelp in that hole just this time of year though. Yikes. Right, I think we're between the main rock and the rock in the water, the actual, you know, the bit we're sitting on, and the rock in the water. I think I'm down in the gap between them. Definitely getting bites. Probably a shiny. I guess it's a shiny. No, it's a scorpion. This one might actually be a short. So there we have scorpion, species number 3 of the day. I'm going to get him unhooked and try and figure out if he is, in fact. Nah, it's joined underneath, unfortunately. Can I have my hook back, please, sir? Sir, please, can I have my hook? Please? Come on, look, it's right here in the corner of your mouth. Just give me it back. Come, open your mouth, for fuck's sake. It's right in the corner of his mouth, but it's in the hard bit. At the corner of his mouth. There we go. Turned it and it's out. Yeah, another long, a dark one this time. Oh, bye. So, species number 3 of the day, fish I think number 35 or something. I'm going to need to rebait. So we'll turn you off for a minute while I do that. Well, first drop at the new location, and lo and behold, it's another long spine. It's long spine number 2 of the day. So it's 2 codlin, 2 long spine, and 33 billion fucking coalies. The colours in him though. Right, I'm gonna get him back and get another drop. So it's 4 PM. I've been out since about 11 AM. So one last thing to try before we go. Try a little 5-gram jig doing it at point. There's far too much tide running to run a cheb or anything like that, or a split shot rig. However, the 5-gram jig might be fine. Might find me that pollock I'm looking for. So I'm going to bounce that up and doing by the point. You're not coming, you're biting in a bag, because it's quite exposed doing the point. Yeah. You see the amount of ripple on the water. I don't want to lose you doing in there, because that's not fucking 2 feet deep. I'm not getting you back. I know I've been due an upgrade for fucking 6 months or something. I had no intention of getting the Pixel 10s. The improvement over the fucking Pixel 8 that I'm using is fucking negligible. So there's no plans to upgrade the camera anytime soon. I mean, fucking the YouTube compression fucks the video anyway, so yeah. There was chat about getting a drone. My boss was going to sell me his old drone. Might chip him about that more. Get some lovely panning around aerial shots of the area I'm going to be fishing before we start. Apart from that, I can't really see much use for it. I mean, it'll be fun, I guess, till I crash it in the fucking sea. So, aye, it's been a fucking fantastic day. I think we had about 32 podlies, 2 codlin, 2 or 3 long spined. It would have been nice to see some other stuff. The wind is not ideal at all. There's not even any sign of it dropping this evening. It was the same last night. Got up this morning, same. It just doesn't seem to want to fuck off. Normally in the summer here it drops off in the evening and you get up in the morning and it's a fine peaceful day, but nah. I had thought about venturing out this evening, however it's Sunday and it's Hector's day of fucking rest, because as I'm sure you're all very aware, he's a religious man. Actually just popped up not long ago. It's been 11 years since Hector became ordained. Bet you didn't ken Hector was the fucking minister. That's what happens when Hector's bored during a long wedding ceremony. However, that's a story for another fucking day. I mean,